Well, it still could be weeks away, perhaps even months away, Betty, just based on the public comment periods that are still remaining out there. Any final decision from the president might not come until September at the earliest, so this fight has a long way to go. Plenty of time for Keystone opponents to try and sway the administration from backing this pipeline, which will carry Canadian tar sands crude all the way to the U.S. Gulf Coast. The new State Department environmental impact assessment looked at a new route that largely bypasses a sensitive Nebraska aquifer. The oil industry's top lobbyist in Washington clearly encouraged by this latest review.
The environmental impact statement that was released last Friday shows that there's no significant impact. It indicates it's a big job creator. It doesn't impact the environment anymore. Therefore, I believe there's a high likelihood the Keystone will finally be approved after 4 comprehensive studies.
Critics, including protesters in Washington just last month, say it's the source of the oil that's the big problem here. They argue the Canadian tar sands crude is the dirtiest form of oil production, counter to the president's push to confront climate change. The environmental impact statement concluded the project won't worsen the risks of global warming because the oil sands will be developed anyway. That is a very big win for supporters of this project. But the assessment, Betty, doesn't recommend a final green light, so this fight is far from over. Environmentalists still believe they have an opportunity to stand in the way.
Okay, so Peter, then what will be the final test for the administration?
Well, the final litmus test for the president, for Secretary of State John Kerry, who's handling as the point man on this, is it in the nation's interest? That's the first test. But a couple other things the president has to balance here. Of course, relations with Canada. This is a very big deal to the Canadians if we don't offer a permit. And of course, the president has to balance the politics here. Does he anger the environmental community that supported him in his 2 campaigns by backing this project? And if so, how does he balance that out? There could be a trade-off here, Betty. Big action on climate change with regard to emission limits at power plants while giving a green light to this. That's the view of some here in Washington.